Hello again. I've got the video here, so I'm going to be using this to respond.
Today I'll be recording this video on June 13th, 2022 at 8 in the morning.
I'm recording this on the 30th of May, 2023 at 11 a.m. How are things going for you? Things are going fine. Things are going good. They're going about as well as they could be. That hasn't changed.
But things are just fine.
So last year I was incredibly depressed. This is evident in the fact that you watch the videos and my emotions and body language just dwindles. I remember in 2019, Michael commented that my camera confidence had gone up incredibly so compared to 2017. I thought that started to go down again after lockdown, but that was only because I started getting depressed. So if you look back, you can actually just see that I look miserable in last year's video. It was just a bunch of terrible situations I was in. I was burnt out, I was overworked, and now I'm not. So that's cool. So yeah, things are doing good. I'm willing to suggest that they're doing great.
And next year I'm hoping to get a place to myself, as I'm now going to be entering the adult world.
So last year I was struggling a lot to find a place to myself. That's because I was looking in Cambridge, which is mostly student orientated, unless you're making about £2,000 a month. And last year I commented that I was hoping to find my own place that I could live in on my own without strangers, either in Cambridge or near Cambridge. I did it. I live on my own, completely on my own. I'm in the top floor of the apartment building, so I've got these lovely slanted roofs that I'm hanging ivy from, and I'm still in the midst of decorating. I moved last month. But yeah, that's actually an ambition I unlocked from last year's video.
Hopefully by this time next year you're living in a one-bedroom flat in Cambridge or near Cambridge and you're still working.
I am still working. I make pizza for a living. If you follow me on TikTok, you'll know that this is what I do. I work at an international pizza restaurant, Father Joe's. But yeah, I do that part-time, and that's enough to pay my rent, pay my bills, and not be burnt out. And it's fantastic. It's a job I actually enjoy, which is something I was really worried for the last 9 months that I wouldn't do. I wouldn't find a job that I enjoy, because up until that point, last year, I worked 4 or 5 jobs in retail and 1 job in food courier delivery. The food delivery job was fantastic. I loved it. But when I was filming last year, I was working overtime all the time at Co-op, and I didn't get paid for any of that overtime. I didn't know that. It was in a contract that wasn't shown to me. So I was just not doing great. Working so much last year was just killing me, and I'm working half that time this year somewhere I enjoy, around people that I like to be with. It's just completely changed my work ethic. It's changed my attitude. It's changed my outlook on being a grown-up, because last year that was something that I was really struggling to adapt to.
I'm hoping that this time next year that you're still talking to everyone that you still do currently. I'm hoping that they won't just keep dwindling until I'm 50, and I still try and keep a close-knit friend group.
That's funny, say another one.
If you're not in my friend group and you happen to watch my videos, there's a couple people out there. You may have noticed that some people disappeared from being regular appearances in my videos for about 6 months now. Friends come and go, it happens. But I just think it's kind of ironic that I made a comment last year about how I've lost a lot of friends and I hope to keep the people I have now, and that's changed again. So let's just keep that ball rolling. How many friends have come and gone since this video? Next year, 2024, what's happened? How many people are in your friends circle now? Let's see what changes.
I never got back into photography.
I fell out of the photography hobby because I was depressed. I got kind of back into it. I mean, I take photos of my friends all the time whenever we go out, and I make photo albums out of it and I put them on my wall. But in terms of doing stuff to post on social media, I don't do that. I bought this film camera. Here's a roll of film to go with it, because I'm really into the analog stuff now, but I haven't done it in a few months. I'm putting the camera back on the shelf, which is a reference to me putting down my hobbies because I was depressed. Yeah, I mean, I do photography still. It's just not as much as I used to, which is kind of like it was last year, but I'm not as sad last year, so that's cool.
There's been no progress in working professionally in the video production industry.
The same applies. I've sent out literally hundreds of applications, and at one point in time, between August to February, I believe, I was actually tracking every single job I applied to, just to see what the response time was on average, what people's like acceptance rates were. I stopped tracking it because it was killing my motivation. Because I sent over 200 video editing applications. I would still really like to do that. I really, really am passionate about film and video production. It's just really difficult to get into, from my perspective anyway. I don't know the right people. I know it's all about connections and networking, but I don't have those connections. So I'm just doing it as a hobby, which is fine, but I'd much rather do it as a job.
And my concern is that next year I would still have made no progress. And at what point does this zero progress just go downhill and I stop trying?
I did stop trying, for a while anyway, because yeah, it's completely demotivating. Being constantly rejected for jobs on end. Anyone would stop trying after being told for 6 months that they can't get that job, you know? But because I am feeling better, both motivationally speaking and emotionally speaking, I will keep trying to do that. So maybe next year something would have come up. Fingers crossed.
Then I'll just be working 40 hours a week for the rest of my life, doing something I don't really enjoy.
Something I really struggled with last year, and even until just a few months ago, was grasping the concept that I am a human being that was born to work 40 hours a week just to survive. That really, really sucked.
I don't enjoy photography anymore, so that's depressing. I have to work 40 hours a week and I don't get to talk to my friends as much, so that's depressing.
Max, in 2022, I'm sorry for what you had to experience and go through. Thank you for hoping that it would get better, because it has. It's gotten tons better.
Who knows? Maybe next year there'll be way more colours.
Don't know about way more colours. There's a sort of earthy tone going on. I've got the green shirt, I've got the brown sofa. Yellow is kind of natural, I suppose. To wrap up, I suppose things have drastically improved. I'm doing way better. I'm enjoying my work. I'm still pursuing my hobbies. I'm still talking to people. I've got more time to my friends. So compared to last year, everything's just dramatically improved. So I look forward to seeing what happens next year. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.